All right, we're up. This is the Our Town with Troy By, North Alabama's podcast, rolling right along. And if you are new to the show, or if you're not new to the show, I think a lot of people are not new to the show, but you're not hitting the like button or the notification bell or subscribing or leaving a review. I'd love to get some reviews. I've got a few on Spotify that are nice. You can pull those up. But I'd love to get more reviews. I've been saying that, kind of kicking off the last few shows. Do you like the show? Do you hate the show? You know, what kind of guests would you like to see? Because I want to continue with that format. I try to reward people who reach out to me and say, I want to be on the show regardless of what it is. And there's a number of them coming. And sometimes I have to reschedule due to work commitments or whatever, or they do. But, you know, we're going to keep rolling along.
Yeah.
I've never missed a week. You know that? And this will be episode 111.
Wow.
Oh my
And
gosh.
from my live days, if you said you're going live at 7, you're going live at 7. And you don't ever want to leave this reputation with your fans that, well, sometimes it comes on at 7:01 or doesn't come on at all. Like, I would come on at 6:50 actually.
Nice.
And for a 7 o'clock
Already
game,
here.
you know, already here. And but you know, for anybody that misses a week, I cringe. I feel like that's the week that someone's like, I don't see an episode. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I'm going to another podcast. And so I take that very seriously.
Nice.
So yours will come out actually next week. Today is
It's Monday.
Today's Monday, right?
I had to think about it too.
Yeah.
Very
And who am I
Monday.
talking to? Well, so Danielle Hart is here. She was on the program when I interviewed Dana Gillis from Village of Promise. And Adrian, got to get my buttons here. Adrian Van Kirk is also here, but they're not here to talk about Village of Promise. You're here to
Not
talk about
today.
the American Advertising Federation of North
Yes.
Alabama, AAF.
Sounds big.
North Alabama. It does. It's a federation.
It's a full federation.
We have a long name with
You-
North Alabama. It's like
Are you in
AFNA.
battle with the Republic? It's kind of, I start thinking of Star Wars. I think about republics and federations.
Federation.
And federation.
Oh, that's the unifying voice of advertising.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be equal to the Federation.
So you're a great example of what I was just saying, Danielle, that you reached out to me, I think, to set up the interview with Dana. We had you on. Thought it was a good interview. And just like that interview, you're going to have Adrian here. So it's going to, you know, interviewing two people. It's great. It requires a different little bit of setup in the studio, but no big deal. There's cameras all around, and they can easily now. I used to have to move them, like when I was doing, if I had 2 guests or one, and I said, enough of that. I'm just going to buy more, so I don't have to
Oh, this is
move
nice.
cameras.
You're just flipping right through.
That's right. But
I haven't even looked over. Should I be
know.
looking at the
I'm trying
No.
not to look.
you don't want to look. If you want to, later we'll need you to look at things.
Okay.
But then we had a joke about Whataburger and Wahlburgers. So my advice to anybody is, if someone invites you to Wahlburgers, make sure that it's Wahlburgers and not, you assume you heard burger and you heard what is something in there, and you assume it's Whataburger, and your friends are waiting for you at Wahlburger, or vice versa.
Are you going to
Yes.
what or wall?
Yes.
And so then we go to lunch, and we talk about the Addy Awards and everything else that you all are involved in.
We did. We went down a rabbit hole that day at lunch. We talked about a lot of things.
That's
so,
right. I think
but grateful that you're going to have us. Grateful that you have us.
That's
here.
how I got here, I guess.
that's how you got
Is that
here.
rabbit hole.
Yeah, we said who can we pick on in Danielle's friend circle.
Yes.
So
Nice.
you were the lucky one, Adrian.
Nice.
And I was gonna, you know,
That's a big circle.
you spell your name differently than most Adrians.
I do. I told my dad, I said, you guys spelled my name wrong. And he said, no, I spelled it the way I wanted to spell it. So, because everybody says it's different. But yeah, it's Adrian and then with the E at the end. So usually it's 2 N's or no E
Right.
or IE, all the things.
Well, I was going to assume you would actually might have pronounced it Adrienne,
I
just the
know.
way it was spelled, but it's Adrian.
Adrian.
Okay.
You've always marched to the beat of your own drummer, and I feel like your dad may have had some insight into
I
that.
come by it
before he-
honestly.
Yes.
If you met him, you'd know.
And where does the Van Kirk surname come from?
That is Dutch.
Dutch.
Yes.
Should have known that.
Yeah.
I always like it when there's like Van whoever. I've known a lot of people
I think
growing up. that-
Von is the German.
Von.
Van is Dutch.
Well, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. I learned something.
I don't know
I
if
learned
that's
something
like,
too.
I don't know if that's across the board rules, but that's what I've been told.
Well, until moving to Huntsville and being familiar with Von Braun, any person I ever dealt with was the Dutch, Van something. Van Hess, Van Heusen. I mean, just tons of vans.
Went
that
to
I-
brands, to clothing brands.
Yeah, the Van Heusen. And Danielle, do you
Wilder.
know this, like the origin of Hart? Where does that come from? Or
I believe it means deer.
deer?
Cannot pink. Is it German? I don't know. I think it is.
Homework
I
assignment.
want to be over here Googling
Well,
everything.
yeah, I know what my full name means, but I don't. Yeah, I think it would be German, but I don't want to. My dad will listen to me like, come on.
We're so way
if I'm
off.
wrong.
So disappointed in you. Well,
Now I have homework. Thanks.
I know these things because my brother is very much into our genealogy. So
how far back do you have your line? Do you know?
probably Adam and Eve. I mean, he went way back. He went way back. So, I mean, he knows all. He's got all that in his head. I don't.
Right. That's the easy answer. It's Adam and Eve.
Right.
I mean, we all go back there somehow,
Right.
some way, right?
Your brother could offer that service.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it comes to marketing, so what's different about tonight? We've had Bold Agency on. We've had Lauren Goins.
yay,
We've
nice.
had Megan Nivens Tannant from
Yep,
Love
Flourish.
both of them.
We've had Carl Holden from Zealous Marketing. I've had Britt Silcox from Bright Eyed Brands
Yes.
and Ellen Didier from Red Sage.
Nice.
Okay, I think those are. If I'm missing a marketing company, I feel bad, but I think that covers.
We could get you a few more. But
Yeah.
that is a great, stellar list.
It's a good list, right?
Yeah.
Great list.
And then, of course, I know Phil Woodall's on your board, and
Yes.
he's actually responsible for that light in particular.
Oh, nice.
He helped upgrade my lighting. So shout out to Phil and the Library of.
Yes, so incredibly talented. He actually volunteered and shot all of our board headshots.
Oh, really?
So we all look fabulous because of Phil on the website. So
Fabulous, Phil.
fabulous Phil. That might stick and he might not like it. No, I'm just
Well, why don't we
kidding.
look at those headshots right now?
Oh, here we go.
So let's see.
Mark in his Hawaiian
So
shirt.
this is a good. So you mentioned it, right? And I had this stuff prepared. So let's just jump right into it.
Nice.
But
Okay.
so you're the president right now, Danielle, right,
I
of the
am.
chapter,
I
the
am.
North Alabama chapter, and our friend Adrian over here is a past president and the governor-elect for District 7. We'll talk about that in a second. But did you? I mean, I wasn't planning to do this right now, but we can. Did you want to talk about your board based on what we're seeing here and kind of go individual by individual? And this, I think, will help set up to the different areas we're going to explore when we discuss the components of AAF.
Okay.
How about we do that?
Absolutely. So again,
And you can
Phil.
rank order them, like the ones that are really good and the ones that you're like struggling, you know, they don't get much
my
out of.
goodness. I'm grateful for every single person there. They each contribute something special to our local club, which is what makes district and our national so strong. So thankful to Mark. Really, the past couple of years have been rebuilding, and that is through Mark and Adrian primarily coming out of COVID. We all know the world looked a little bit different, and the club did as well. So I felt like this year we were rolling into the recrafting year, but I kind of want to keep us in rebuilding too, because when you are rebuilding and recrafting, you're setting processes in place and you're reestablishing things. And we have had a lot of that this year, but we've had a lot of amazing successes too. So Mark Moore, he is incredible. Immediate past president. He served for 2 years, and in that role of president. And he joined, was it 2016, 2017? We came on at the exact same time. So we are like the OGs
Okay.
right now. And if we keep going
Was that
down-
when the chapter was formed?
No.
Okay.
No. I
That
mean,
was
we
in
go
the
60.
70s.
I'm going 60s
wow.
or 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we should AAF
we should
trivia.
have
Brad would be so mad. So Brad Klaskin, you'll
He's
see
on
his
here.
photo. Yeah. We should know that. We should know that. So we'll go 60s, 70s, right? And that covers historical
Yeah.
fact, with that one. So if we look down, we have Nate Rich of Honest Films and Phil, both incredibly talented gentlemen. And, you know, Nate is a whiz with numbers. So we are fortunate to have him on our board, and Phil with membership. So that's a tough role. That's an absolutely tough role because you are responsible for engagement. You are responsible for systems, and he just makes it look easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Amy McWilliams and Carly, oh my goodness, we had our American Advertising Awards North Alabama Gala. Everybody says it different. How do you say it?
I kind of depends.
That's cute.
Okay.
It's like a lot of words. Like
Yeah.
it depends on the sentence, and I won't even really. I'll just unconsciously pronounce it the way I
Yeah.
don't know I want to, based on the other words in the sentence.
It is one of those
Okay.
words that can
Yeah.
flip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say gala, and then I caught myself in it going gala in my head.
I would normally say gala.
Okay. All right, perfect. These two ladies did an incredible job. We had 105 of the 105 professionals that attended the awards this year. Could not have done it without them. The awards were at the Botanical Gardens, and there's a lot that goes in that you see publicly on the front end when it comes to us promoting it. But the back end is where all the hard work takes place. And I'm just going to say it again. They made it look easy. I mean, from decorations, from picking the venue to grabbing the catering to keeping all of the numbers and systems straight on the back end that I don't even know. I know Adrian was guiding.
There's a whole competition in the background
Really?
too.
Yeah.
So submissions and
The submission side
judging
of it.
and all of that is huge.
And they had to
Yeah.
secure judges from, of course, out of our area
Yeah.
to be able to come in, and qualified judges. Let me say that, because if you are going to point at the best of the best in creative, you want to make sure that you have judges that are wholly qualified for
Okay.
that. So, yay. Brenda Pierce, she is Sweetwater Marketing. She has done programs for 2 years now, and she's a light. She is just a light. If you meet her, she's passionate about what she does, and she's smart.
Okay.
And she has a lot of off-the-cuff ideas. So write them down. Because
Okay.
that's what I did. I'll be like, Brenda, we need to talk about this. Melissa is a dear friend, and she, Matt Global is her company.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she does a lot
That's
of
cosmetics, right?
No,
Isn't it?
Well,
Oh,
it
wait,
is
that's a different
cosmetics,
Mac.
but that's a different Mac. But yeah, she does.
Okay.
She does swag. She's quoted some things out, but she's just fun, and she's led our diversity initiatives forward. This is the first time that we have had a diversity project for our club this year,
Okay.
in partnership with the Huntsville Utilities Matchmaker event for small and minority-owned businesses. So, her initiatives and her vision, I will follow her anywhere. So,
Okay.
and Leah Hall is great. Leah works for the CVB. She's a super talented designer. She tagged into government.
Did you say CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I believe she was recently promoted. So yay,
That's right. I saw that. There was
Yeah.
like 4 of them that
There-
were promoted.
good. Well, look, their visibility's getting out. If we both saw it, did you see that?
I
Phil?
don't think I saw
Okay.
it.
Because
Now I'm
Joel,
going to get on LinkedIn and I'm
know.
going to say congratulations.
because Joel Lamp got promoted too. He's the sports development director or something like that
Nice.
now.
Okay.
I think that's the post I saw.
Okay, I think it was the same. I had the 4
Yeah,
photos.
yeah.
Leah has been great. Her and Melissa actually came to New Orleans with us last fall for the conference. And do you want to talk a little bit about the conferences? I mean, I know we're doing that later, but the one in New Orleans.
Well, look at this. Look how prepared I am. Here you are in New Orleans.
That's us in New Orleans.
Yes. It's just days of, it's days of intense learning, but we also do know how to have fun. I think I started that before you started recording. We're all pretty fun.
Yeah.
You included, right?
I try to be.
We're advertising
Okay.
people, I mean.
You better be.
It's great to be able to experience learning and building that camaraderie with local professionals. It's just a strengthening. And
So this was like a national conference, so all the districts are there?
this was a District 7. So we
Just
have
District 7.
2 for District 7 annually, one spring and then one in the fall.
Okay.
And the big one every year for all the clubs is At America.
Now let me
Or
make
that's
sure.
nationwide.
Let me make sure we're talking apples to apples here. That's your district. Okay, so it's Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, and part of,
The best
Part
part,
of-
of Louisiana.
the best part of Louisiana. I mean, who even knows about the northern part? I couldn't tell you one city up there. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know the state.
No offense.
We really show that it's just this fight.
Yeah. No.
Baton Rouge. and
Okay,
New
so that's
Orleans.
your district.
Yes, but that's truly, what our local club is about, is that we are part of something bigger. So we do dock to a district and we do dock to a national, and a lot of people find value in that,
Sure.
just trying to connect onto something that has out goals, like beyond goals. I'm not finding my words, but that's okay. We have a little bit of time. I can do.
You can.
Yep, and went through to Ellen. She is our social media. She's amazing. She works with
Allison? Or did I miss
up
her?
It's
above
right
in
here,
the pink.
in the pink.
Oh yeah, there she is.
So she has a hat on for Village of Promise, and she also has a hat on for Sweetwater Marketing. Very, very talented social media, and she's just a great soul. A dear friend, Allison Montebello, incredible, the public service initiatives that she has put forward for our club. They did a series of videos, so at our recent awards, the videos did win 2 awards.
Oh, cool.
which was huge. Absolutely huge. I cried when I watched. There's one that's called Dawn's Story.
Dawn's Story.
Our project was,
So good.
so we voted, nonprofits will apply. That's actually open right now. So if nonprofits need marketing work, they can apply to us, and then it goes to a board vote. So it was last year that we voted on Alabama Respite, and there's this older gentleman named Don who just freely told his story. And listening to Phil and the production talk, just listening to, it made me cry. And it was so moving just to hear him and his story. And I think that's the connections they were able to really connect. Tom Patterson, Student Relations, he came onto the board last fall and he jumped right in. He's done several things with UAH Graphic Design Club. He's a part of BOLD, so they support students across the board in so many ways that so many people probably have no idea about. They really foster growth in students. It's incredible. He is part of the Student Roadshow. So that's going on right now, and that is at four different. I think there's
They're
one
in
going
Oakwood
on
tonight.
right now. I
Oh,
know.
that's right.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that on your calendar.
Yeah, so there will be 2 more left in the month of March, and it's a joint partnership between us and PRCA. And again, just pour into our students. They're the future. They're the future of what we're doing now, and it always feels good to have somebody on your side that will
Right.
talk to you off the record, as well as on the record. Right? I'm sure you've heard a lot of interesting things
Oh,
off
yeah,
the record.
Off the record. Even though I'm still keeping record.
I know, right here, just not
You
here.
can't, yeah.
It's like, oh, I speak like that in normal now. If I'm saying something, even to a close friend, I'm like, "Hey, this is off." I could have
Off
known
the
you for
record,
3
yeah.
years. This is off the
Yeah.
record. That is Brad. Brad is incredible. He's a past president, and he very much is still involved. He keeps the past president's council. He runs the silver medal. He is our link between the present and the past. So he helps keep that engagement rolling. He is great. He recently retired, and then picked back up, and he is with AVIQ. I'm learning now that everyone I know who is retiring is not actually retiring. So I don't know how that's supposed to work.
Step.
I know. No, it's like a step this way to a step this way. But so these, we have Adrian here, and for me, these two, Brad and Adrian, are AAF. They were both heavily involved when I came involved. They are both still heavily involved, and I'm grateful. These are the two that I lean on, and it's
Thank you.
yeah.
How long do you-
I'm thankful for
Happy to
you.
still be
How long does the president serve?
It's up to them. It's what I've seen, 1 to 3 is the average. I think so. So that would be 2, right? The midpoint.
I did 2,
2 years.
you?
but I actually asked at the end of my first year if I could serve another year, because I felt like I just gotten it. Like, okay, I get it now. Can I do this again?
Yeah.
I think I can do a little better.
Yeah.
Do you have stuff in your bylaws where if there's a maximum term limit?
We probably do.
You probably do.
Our bylaws have not been updated.
I think it
and-
is 2 years. I think it might be 2 years and then I don't know. We should know that. I'll look that up.
Yeah, look it up. It matters.
In an upcoming review of our bylaws, we'll be sure to let you
I
know.
don't-
It's-
I don't know if this will make it into the edit, but last week I was up at FBI headquarters in D.C. and we were taking a tour of the FBI experience. It's like their museum. Have you ever been to that?
No.
It's really cool, actually. But J. Edgar Hoover served 48 years as the director of the FBI.
Wow.
So I'm like, what? Like, for some
Can't
reason,
fathom that.
I never like, maybe if I knew that, I forgot it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, how old was he when he got
When
put
he
in?
got
They're like
there.
29.
Yeah.
I'm like, and who did he know? Like, was his dad influential in the government? Because like 29 is pretty young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So at some point, I can't remember which president it was. I was kind of not paying attention when the guide was telling me this, but at some point there was a president who was, they're like, hey, we really need you to move on, you know? And I can't remember how many years he had in. He's like, really? And the thing was, they knew everything about everybody back then. So they had a nice little dossier that they could blackmail you with. And apparently it was the president's wife. I'm like, oh, really? You want me to step down? Well, then I'm going to make this public. And they're like, oh, you know what? You just keep doing your thing. And so 48 years later, he finally stepped down. But I think he was using that as a,
Wow.
you know,
yeah. He was
his
good at his
leverage.
job, the
He was
FBI.
using that as leverage.
Wow.
It was awesome, though. They have
Yeah.
the boat. You remember the Boston Marathon bombing? And the guy hid out in that boat. and then the FBI just lit that thing up with bullets till they killed him or whatever, or maybe because took him in custody. But they have the boat on the trailer at the museum,
Wow.
and you can see all the bullet holes, or the
gosh.
phone booth that Eric Robert Rudolph made, who was the Olympic bomber. They have the phone booth from the street on display. It's like really cool artifacts like that.
I actually got called to be on his jury duty.
Did you really?
Isn't that crazy?
That is
It never happened.
It
but
never
I
happened?
went down to Birmingham and had to like sit in a room all day, and
Oh wow,
it was intense.
My
that would
face
have been
exactly.
sweet.
It was intense.
That
I
could be
know.
a whole podcast.
My
Then
brother's
some.
like, "You're going to be on TV. Like, this is going to be great.
You're gonna write a book. You're gonna be famous.
And you're going,
Have a job." Like,
please, Lord, don't let me have to do this. Please. We will all do our civic duty, right?
Right.
When
but
called.
that's a big one.
That is a big one.
You're like on the OJ trial for like a year or whatever. Like
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Every time I see a Bronco,
Ford
never
or a
fails.
glove.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a random.
just a blaze
So-
in your brain.
Okay,
Can't joke about that. That's like, yeah, somebody lost their.
we started. So help me understand. I think I understand, but this
Okay.
is why you're all here. There's associations in the industry. As I mentioned earlier, we've interviewed a few different companies on this podcast that are marketing professionals in the area. Is that just what is it that, so I guess it's one thing, just you're going to join an association. That's great. There's some events you can go to, some networking. But if I am whomever, I start my own marketing company here, why do I choose to join AAF North Alabama? Why don't I just pose that question to either of you? Does that make sense?
It does. Because you do want to be part of something bigger than yourself in our community and spend time with like-minded professionals. It is about the networking, and I'm telling you, the most important part for me is like
The people.
you know, my family now, right?
Yeah.
You know, complete stranger in 2016, and now family. You know, I have another very best friend that came out of the club. But beyond that, it's the value. It's the value in learning things together. We did a coffee talk that was an AI coffee talk in December. And I mean, that was incredibly fascinating to me because everyone went around this giant table, of course, and told their experiences with AI and their uses. And my mind was just blown.
It was fun to hear. Everybody, we didn't have a speaker. We just all chatted for an hour. And it was just really cool to hear this kind of new thing that's coming
Yeah.
out, and everybody's phased by it in some way or another, but just to hear how people are using it for good or using it to help out either their clients or themselves with their work, it was pretty cool.
Actually, listening to Phil and Nate talk about how they use it
Yeah.
for video production, and my mind was blown because I'm not even there. I'm there with the writing and the copy and the sourcing,
Yeah.
things together. And so, learning how different professionals are going down that road, there's a level, of course, that's the camaraderie, but it is the learning. You know, it's coming out of COVID and the rebuilding. We did ad tours last year, which were incredible. We wanted to increase engagement. This was not my brainchild. I take zero credit. This was Adrian and Brenda that made all of this happen. With that,
The tours of what?
the ad tour. So,
The ad
there you
tours.
go. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
call it
Ad
ad tour, ad fest.
Like that. Look how good I am. Look at that.
So that was pretty
Dun,
good.
dun,
That was
dun.
quick.
Look, I'm gonna sound effects all night. My coffee is still here.
So, well, let's go back. Let's come back to this. But,
Okay.
So there's networking. Obviously, there might be some ability to get additional resources,
If I can
whatever
add
that
to
might.
that.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
I
please.
would. So, I've been part of AAF for a really long time since I was a student at UAH, and watching the agencies back then in their heyday, and then watching them not all of them, but a lot of them crumble in around 2007. And that's when I started my business, but not really realizing that was happening. So I sort of flourished in that. I didn't have any overhead. It was just me. I was a freelancer and still part of AAF, and realizing how much this community needed to be educated about marketing agencies, advertising agencies, the worth of our work, and the worth of freelancers, and the value that they bring. I think that we have we should be educating our community about our industry, and that's the only way that I think we can do it is if we're all kind of this unified voice, right?
Thank you. See, she's here. That was so much more eloquent.
I got to think about
was
it. I
amazing.
got to sit.
Well, and I think part of that is there's such even though I mentioned a bunch of companies.
Mm-hmm.
They, on one hand, they're competitors, but on the other hand, they're not. There's a pie that's big enough for everybody to have like a slice and a bigger slice. The pie gets bigger, right? And so then it really is kind of that camaraderie that is built, and it's somewhat, I think, unique to Huntsville. And maybe not everybody's experience may be like that, depending on where they came from. And then you come here and have this refreshing, wow, like Bold is just, I see on LinkedIn, they're just as complimentary towards Megan or Red Sage is,
they're all cheering for each other.
Yeah, they're all cheering for each other. And I think that's pretty cool. Are you the only agency of this kind in North Alabama? Like that a marketer could join? As far as having kind of that local feel?
There's a few.
Mm-hmm.
There's PRCA. Is we're very similar to PRCA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's your Public Relations Council or something.
And we partner with them on at least one event. So partnered twice, 2 years in a row on the Student Roadshow, and then we typically have one collective meeting together.
There it is right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's
my goodness. That's such a fun graphic. Tom did a great job.
He did. It's such a fun website.
So that kind of brings it in. So you're partnering on that, but otherwise kind of doing different things, servicing different needs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them because I mentioned. But
Please.
the Huntsville Marketing Professionals, that's another group in town, and they do monthly speakers. And we have crossover for sure.
Sure.
And they are newer. I haven't been yet, but I'm excited to go sit in. Again, it's the camaraderie thing. We want everyone to succeed. I know that Adrian has been to one, and I know that there's someone on our board who is also involved there.
Well, I find marketing, as simple as it may seem, it's also to me still a very tricky thing. And the more and more people I chat with about how you do marketing, the more I get confused, or I realize it is there's a science and an art to it.
A nuance, yeah.
You know, and because I think some of us just can't get out of just the basic. Oh, you do some advertising. You post something, and it's more of this outward thing that you're doing to just get your name out there, put yourself in print and digital. But then there's also this the digital marketing, which is a whole different animal. And is it just SEO, or is it more than that, or are you communicating your brand? Like, I don't know. Like, I really do feel like that's why you need professionals to help you out, because it's tricky.
Absolutely. And I mean, even of all the things that you just listed, I maybe know a couple things about a couple things.
Yeah.
To have somebody that's focused just on digital and just on SEO and just on, that's what you're going to get from an agency or a marketing.
Absolutely.
Like
expertise in different areas that's collaboratively come together, and that's the important part about the freelance too. We have freelancers on our board. I know that we've just added 3 new board members that have not yet been photographed. That would be Taylor Burton of Taylor Burton Creative. He his design work is just, it's him. He has his own style. It's beautiful. And let's see, Meredith Bogartis, Palmer Creative.
Oh, Meredith. Yeah, I just spoke to her.
Yeah.
She's supposed to come on at some point.
Maybe that's who I was
think
talking
that's who
to.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because I was in Ocala, Florida with my son on a hog hunting and fishing trip when I spoke to Meredith.
Okay.
And so I will always, if there's something just weird, I remember
You're
being,
You're going to remember your trip.
I was in the Publix parking lot in Ocala talking to her, and I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Like, that's Meredith.
Nice.
And I've never met her.
Always associated with.
Yeah.
She is newer to our board. Her paintings. I know that she does a lot of graphics, but she's also an artist, and I think that needs recognizing too.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, every design is art.
Yeah.
It is. It's just in different forms. And who else do we add to the board? Let's see.
Allison Richter.
Yay! I just had lunch with her today.
Oh,
y'all.
nice.
I should have. Where did that go? I
That
have
name
no.
sounds familiar.
She's with Flourish.
Oh, okay.
She was just
Yeah,
recently
yeah, yeah.
promoted. She's creative director. Allison and I have known each other for years. Huntsville really is hold on, let me do. Our town really is small. It's I like to do that. Oh, I think you were traveling and I sent some funny text, or I attempted.
Well, we're the 110th largest city, so it's not very big.
Oh,
We're a secondary market, and it's not. We're like 100. Well, I don't know what our population is, but it's not.
But for those of us who are from here or who have been here for a while, it feels so much bigger.
Yeah.
But it's still it's the nice. It's the spread out. We're not skyscraper. We're not all on. Well, for now.
Yeah.
We're not.
Well, and you're just trying to. All of you marketers are trying to keep up with all the new businesses coming here, right? Or the continued surge in entrepreneurship, and people are just starting their own thing, and with that, it's how do you get known? I constantly get bombarded on Instagram, in particular, with or just spam emails that come in through my website on, hey, your website is great, but it actually kind of sucks too because nobody knows you're out there. Your SEO score is low, and we can promise you 10,000 downloads. Like that, stop.
I feel like that's a lie.
No, you can't. And usually it's just a pay to play thing, right?
Right.
And,
Yes.
And like, no,
Right.
I am interested in truly cultivating like an audience that looks forward to
Absolutely.
actually watching the show or the clips, and not a bot or just tricking the system or
Right.
paying you money so that I get a false. Because guess what? When you go up, you actually start coming back down when people realize what they did. Oh, I subscribed to. Actually, I really don't like that. I like that clip. I don't really like the channel. Unsubscribe.
Stay authentic to you.
Yes.
I think that's number one.
So, are you familiar with BNI? Have you heard of BNI?
I was in a BNI years ago.
I guess I only use that as an example of something else didn't have any familiarity with. I go to one of their meetings, meet every week, and I think it's just a great concept where they encourage their members to recruit someone new. Hey, have a visitor come in and see what it's like, and you're going to have kind of one realtor, one roofer, maybe one, I don't know, tree trimmer, and you kind of hit all the different industries, if you will, or small business areas. But then it's just everyone's helping each other out. So they're asked to like, don't leave here unless you give the new person 3 referrals. And I think that's what's so important about perhaps even with AAF is you're just if you want to be successful, then you need to throw yourself in there, trust other people in that network that they're going to help you out.
Oh yeah.
And give you that lead.
I use it as a directory of, when people say networking, a lot of times I think they just throw the word out and they think, oh, I'm going to go meet people and walk away. But I see networking as you've literally created your own LinkedIn here in town where I can reach out to her at any time and say, hey, do you know, I need somebody to shoot a video. Do you know somebody that you've worked with before that you liked working with? And I can ask somebody face to face instead of, just doing a Google search or something. And it's just so much more, I'm getting a real reference. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
It's genuine when you can. I
Genuine.
picked up the phone last week because I was this week. We're Monday.
I thought it was for some reason I thought it was Thursday.
It's
And
like-
you said
I'm like,
Monday.
hold on.
It is Monday.
We flipped to Monday.
My goodness.
Can we blame
Really
it on the
long
time
Monday.
change yesterday? Like we're
maybe.
on. Okay. I think we can do that.
I saw
better
one
now.
marketing company screw that up and they're like, don't forget to move your clocks back. I'm like, it's kind of spring forward.
Oh,
You know, someone's going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
It's probably already down. Right. I'm just kidding. But I was able to make a call. Like I was sitting on the fence of an ad buy, and I needed to pick the brain of someone, and I made that call. And that's what the genuine is. I haven't talked to my dear friend in probably a month on the phone, but I'm like, hey girl, I need advice right now. Do you have 5 minutes?
And there's a reason why you're calling that person.
There
Because
is.
that
There was a
person-
specific reason because
Yeah.
this is what she does all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so it's a part of what I do. So of
Yeah.
course I'm going to call who I consider to be the expert. And that's what, I mean, I feel like I could pick up the phone and call anybody on the board at any time. I mean, even our members. And I hope that they feel that way too.
So how long have you been in marketing, Adrian? Would you say?
25 years.
Okay.
Ooh, that's expert level status, right? Isn't it? If you do something for 15 years consistently? I don't know. Okay.
That's
It's 10 or 15.
know.
It's
Okay.
tired status.
Tired.
Not retired, but tired.
Yeah. What about you, Danielle? How long you doing?
Let's see. I went independent in I was independent for 6 years within PR, and so I by default learned marketing.
Okay.
And because the partnership of the two are wholly what protects the brand and the image and puts that out there. It's been a while. It's been a minute. Maybe
Okay.
I think I'm going back 12 years.
So then in AAF, again, there's the PR piece, there's the marketing piece, and is there another piece?
To
that
a
I'm
piece,
missing?
piece to.
Just to your overall.
Advertising, marketing, and
Okay.
uh,
Your
You mean our
overall offering.
club? Our club. Okay, yeah.
Ye-
So I mean, we'll have photographers. You know, we like to cater to makeup artists. Anybody, if you have any creative hand that touches any product that is pushed out to promote something to the community.
copywriters, designers,
Yes, copywriters, designers,
video
crea-
producers,
creative directors, editors.
podcasters.
Yes,
yeah.
we try to get you involved. We're going to keep trying to get you involved. Come, Troy.
I'm
we
going
have
next
March
time.
20th.
Oh, I'll come. I'll come.
I'm speaking.
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
on podcasting?
No, that would be
No.
your realm, my friend.
Well, I saw that. I actually have a picture of it because I think it was back in like October of 22. You had a
We did a
podcasting night,
podcast.
and I was like, I had been at this for 6 months at that point.
It was a live podcast. So
Oh,
we
really?
had 4 podcasters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they
Oh,
just
wow.
kind of did a live podcast. Yeah.
It was very interesting because that was at the cusp.
Studio audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah,
I'm
So-
waiting for the claps.
So, Adrian, what?
we haven't done a.
This is going to
podcast
be
in a
weird. It's.
long time.
I'm not trying to ask the question what's changed in the 25
A
years,
weird
but like,
question.
how hard is it for you to keep up with this industry of let's just blanket call it marketing?
Yeah.
How hard is it? How fast does it change? And are you stretched at like, man, this is it? I don't know. AI is a good example, of course, how fast it's moving, but you know, how challenging is it for you, even as a 25-year practitioner?
Practitioner, I like that. What's crazy is that all the different aspects of it that I have been in those 25 years, and now I'm at a company where we're advertising and marketing nationally and globally. And so I'm still just learning so much, and I'm very much in the e-com world now.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last 2 years have just been, I've learned just an enormous amount of information working with the big box stores and working with Amazon, and then, paid digital, and just so much that, I mean, it's a lot to keep up with. But what I love is different generations. I'm that person that's absolutely just embracing all the other generations, ones that came before me, ones that are after me. My coworker, she's 27 years old maybe, and I mean, she's just out there watching YouTubes and doing all the things and learning all the stuff, and I'm like, that's great. If you could learn that and then just tell me about it,
That's great.
that'd be awesome. And then at first, when AI was really being talked about, I was like, no, I can't. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And now I'm like having conversations with ChatGPT every day. And at our last conference in Baton Rouge, we had a speaker talk about AI and how to give the prompts to ChatGPT a little bit, better. And I hadn't even downloaded it yet. I hadn't even looked at it yet or created an account. And I immediately did it and started using it for a kind of personal brainstorming reasons, and then just went on from there and have had some great conversations about it, and just sparked interest where I thought I was tired.
Let's pull the thread on that. So like, off the top of my head, I'm thinking, okay, for some PR piece, that might be something you could run through ChatGPT, and they could go through its large language model and figure out, okay, based on the parameters you give it here, you could say this.
Yes.
Can
and you better
you-
look it over afterwards.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because you can tell the content that pushes out that's not quite perfective, or where people are not.
Lots of adjectives.
Oh, really?
If you just next time you skim through your LinkedIn, view just for that, and like, did ChatGPT write this, or did a
Yeah.
human? And just see in the pattern, you'll start to see some of the patterns.
Okay. Do you have another example of
For
AI,
AI?
and how you're looking at it that you can share?
I mean, for me, it's really been content. And, I guess I've played with it on Photoshop. I mean, I just did a graphic the other day for our conference, and it's on our, it's on our district Facebook. But I found this, I wanted a frog for Leap Day. And then I was like, well, he has to have something conferencey about him. And so with AI, I took this frog that I got from Adobe stock, and I put a conference lanyard around his neck with,
cool.
with a badge. It was really cute. So I've played with it in that way as well. But we've talked about it for content we've got 4,000 products at my company, and talked about, how can we somehow automate creating 3 bullets for each one. You know, like we already have that.
Yeah.
Can we automate something that will update, edit, refreshen those? So stuff like that.
TH Marine, right? That's who you work for.
TH Marine.
Where are they based out of?
Here.
Here? Oh, sweet.
They've been here for almost 50 years next year.
Wow.
And you can see the building right off the freeway.
Basically, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're on the corner of 65 and 565 with a big distribution center now.
It's 4,000 products? Wow.
Did you know boats had that many parts?
Talk about the awards that just happened, right? The Addies, these are the Addie Awards? Or is this different
the
awards?
American Advertising Award.
So this is a graphic for the Admire Awards, which were we built those into the American Advertising Awards.
And that was in February?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this is, you talked about the judges earlier. I believe this is a session where they're learning from someone else on good practice for judging. Can you talk about that? Like, let's talk about the awards.
Okay.
And all about the submission process and, you know, what you're looking to see or how do you know, what's all, just getting into all of it.
Okay.
This is an unknown for me.
I can tell you about the picture, and then I'm going to toss it to Adrian.
Sure.
So there you go. There's the warning.
Tag team it.
So that is Bo Haynes, and he has been a judge across our district and nation, and he was able to answer some of the in-depth. Hey, you know, gosh, he just gave such good content in general overall about the process and the procedure. That is that on the picture. So I'm going straight over to Adrian on the process.
And then these are your judges, though, that are learning? Or is this your...
No, this is the community.
Okay.
So this is members and board that came together. So you could actually, people could ask him live.
Okay.
Questions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're asking questions for their submissions. How best can I submit my entries? So a judge that is judging this online digitally, they're not holding it, you know, in their hand. What's the best way for me to present my work? And so he was giving those best practices and things like that. That's what we called that Awards 101. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the whole process, we usually announce around October that submissions are open, and most people are maybe just thinking about it. And then it's usually January when they're due, when everybody starts to...
Well, doesn't it flip? Doesn't the world flip from October to June? No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
like all of a sudden it's
Like,
January.
We have 2 beautiful holidays, and those are the high points between October.
Nobody's thinking about entering the
Yeah.
awards. But we try to warn them. And so it's for the work. So we just had our awards in February, and that was for work made in 2023. I almost said 2003.
Oh, boy.
Where am I?
I can tell you where I was then.
Yeah. And so our entries are always due around January or end of January. We try to get as much time for in the new year for people to get their entries together. They enter digitally online, and there's categories, and we have a PDF of the categories, an explanation of each category. Still can be a little confusing.
Oh my goodness.
It's also a lot. It's also a lot to take in. I've been looking at this document, and it's evolved over the years, but I've been looking at it for 20 years, right? So I tend to be the person that people are like, Adrian, what category would this go into?
She is AAF to me. Seriously.
Mark's got some good categories in his head, too, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and, you know, I have not served in that role. And so that's why what I don't know, I will not tell. And I learned so much this year just from questions that Carly and Amy, our co-chairs, were asking on that end. But again,
the awards are every district around the nation does their own awards thing. Okay.
So we have 18 clubs, and each club has their own local award show. And then the gold winners of those shows automatically go to district level.
Okay.
And then if you got a silver, you can choose to pay for yours to go.
So you have 18 clubs within the North Alabama chapter, but you're part of District 7, right?
18 clubs in
And
the
district.
Southeast.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
District
okay.
7.
Oh, that
And
makes
district-
sense now.
I
In
was
District
sorry.
We would all be really tired. I'm like,
That's
hold
fine.
on.
Okay, so then the 8, so that goes, let's just pull up the map.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that'll
Because
help.
I think that helps. That's right. There's your 18 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So these are your clubs. And then the red one just indicates that's Huntsville or
Mm-hmm.
North Alabama. Okay.
Yes.
Then they each have their own awards show. And
Mm-hmm.
then the gold winners, your top whatever, 1, 2, 3, they then go to a district.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of those clubs, golds, are competing, but not against each other.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta do that.
So that's something that we always want to let everyone know is that your pieces aren't competing against each other. They're competing on their own accord.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a gold worthy piece?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a silver worthy piece? And that's how the judges are looking at them. They don't,
Okay.
even if they're in the same category, there doesn't have to be a gold winner in that category. It's just, is it worthy?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So,
And we awarded more awards this year than last year on that.
And where do they hold the District 7 competition?
it's
Or is it virtual?
It's different. It is it virtual? I think it is virtual
Mhm.
because
That'd be a lot of travel.
Which conference?
because everybody's virtual now.
Yeah.
Is it the spring that we get to see?
That's
I'm
when we
trying to-
usually would show it, and
That's such a fun event
Yeah.
at conference is when you get to see
Yeah.
the District 7 winners.
in the past few years we've done it separate,
Okay.
but that's I think because we weren't in person, and then just haven't brought that back up to speed
Okay.
yet. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if we're doing that or not. That's a
I like
question
that
that I
It
need
was
to
a fun
ask.
evening. We all got dressed up and we got to see the best of the best across the market. And I'm telling you, the student work always at district level blows me away.
oh yeah.
Really?
It did this year locally too. Thanks to Tom and Brenda and Adrian support with the clubs, our students increased.
Yeah.
Our student submissions increased.
And then
for-
to see them at the show dressed up, it was really great. At the
Mhm.
gala. The gala.
Right.
forever the Gala Gala.
And you're pulling them from all of our schools here locally? Or is there high school and college, or is it just college?
Just college.
Collegiate. Mhm.
Collegiate, okay.
Mhm.
What were some of the highlights of those that blew you away at the collegiate level? Do you remember? Like some of your favorite submissions?
Was it Annie with the mountain? Oh, look at me! Look, I'm visual. I'm drawing.
I don't think Annie's was the mountain.
No, okay.
But she did have a good one too. And now the mountain
And
one,
now
I wish
I've-
I could remember her name. Ooh.
I
Annie.
know. No, this is someone. I think I called the
Annie
wrong
was
name.
one of the students, but I don't think she had the mountain
Okay,
logo.
I can tell you what she looks like.
Let's draw it.
Can we cut that out?
air drawing. Just kidding. Do you see what I see?
Oh, no.
But that one was the best of show, I think.
It did. So the sweet young lady that we cannot recall her name right now, her work did win a best of show, and that was the standout piece for me.
Are they always a video piece?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So
No,
it could
it's
be
everything.
artwork. It could be anything.
Just content, creative writing. It could be
So, I mean, I guess we live in the
Podcast.
world of tools now. Like, so even like Canva is meant to help people, right? Or used to maybe have to do more of a brute force thing to create something, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's okay to use Canva for your artwork and all that because you're paying to use that kind of platform, right? And it's just how you use it, or is it more back to there's a more of a you're looking for people more to use more rudimentary tools. Does that make sense?
I think it depends on who you ask.
Okay.
I think a designer would turn their nose up at Canva a little bit, but I think there's reasons why it's helpful. Like I would want to go in there and if I really wanted my client to take this brand and run with it and be able to do that, I would maybe set them up in Canva with all their brand, with their colors, with their fonts, with their logos, and set them up well to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But someone else,
Adobe Illustrator or whatever they use.
Yes. I mean, that's what, coming from a designer.
I think the component behind that is designer,
Right.
like you said. And so, Adrian's probably going to create similar visions in whatever program that she's using, but that's her years of expertise behind that.
Yeah.
But I see where it's helpful for
Mhm.
people. I would
Right,
never
yeah.
take that away from people and say that it's trash or something, but
Yeah.
I think that it could be set up really well by a designer and utilized in the right way.
In the nonprofit world, we like Canva.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's so much. I think
Yeah.
there's so much need for
So
it.
the
That's what-
gala this year was a smashing success. I think
Yes.
I saw tons of good
Was.
traffic on LinkedIn for the people who won. And
Yes.
It was a beautiful event.
It was.
We had so much.
It was at the Botanical
It was
Gardens.
enchanting. That was.
It was
The-
enchanting.
That was the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Well attended.
Very.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Full room.
You've been selling out every year, right? Since I think 2020 was your first sellout,
We
I
did
think-
sell out in
Yours?
2020,
right before the
right
pandemic.
before the world
Okay.
shut down.
I was in Wyoming then, so
We had to add
I left
space.
for a year, and
To
so
Gillette, yeah.
yeah, I was gone for a year, and then I came back.
We had to add a few tables at the last minute. Yeah.
Did you?
So, yeah, it's been a very well attended, and
So the word of mouth, or the promotion of it is gathering steam year to year.
I think so. And we talked this year about releasing winners throughout the year to keep it top of people's mind and to keep people kind of, or, you know, a lot of times, like we've put it on the website, but then it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind behind a link.
Yeah.
And if we could utilize our LinkedIn and things like that to showcase these winners because they're so good.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing, you know. So I don't believe there has been a social media chair. There was this year, and I'm not sure if there were.
It's been
I think it's been a minute. So having, you know, Ellen Christian stepped into that role and has done an amazing job. And
Yeah.
there's so many things she's taking. Like all of us have ideas. We're like, okay, Ellen, it's like-
Yeah.
and she's so good at balancing. Okay, we're gonna do this,
Yeah.
with that. So I mean, the number of posts and the increase have been incredible on that end. I think this year is it 20 or I think it was 30. I don't want to say the wrong percentages or the numbers, but we had a jump in an increase in attendance.
Yeah.
This year. So
And
engaged.
submissions.
you're right. Let's just keep doing it every year.
And
right?
submissions are increasing year to year.
It depends on the year.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see it changing?
The awards or the club?
The awards. Do you see more categories? Do you see?
yeah.
I don't know. Like, how do you, when you guys kind of do your postmortem lessons learned over the last few years you've been involved, like, what did you learn of 2024? Because you did a show this year, right? That you want to
Well, you know, AI is going to have to be in there, and it was not in there this year. So
an AI category.
Yeah, I mean, and then, you know, that's got to take a lot of thought to really break that down. And what does that mean? And so that would definitely be, I would think it'd be added next year. It has to be. I can't promise that.
She's
but
manifesting it. So we'll see.
Is there anything that would go away that would be
Oh.
that would be removed?
That's an interesting question. I don't know off the top
I'll
of my
say, I
head.
mean, seeing the progression when, you know, it used to be physical entries that were dropped off, and seeing that change from the physical to the digital. I mean, that was a day.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
That was several days of receiving and then laying everything out for judges and numbering
It was a
and
lot.
now popping online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then keeping them nice.
Yeah.
Because you
You
got to
don't
then
wanna-
mail those to district, and then they
Yeah.
have to mail those to national. So that is another level to it. If you win at district, then you go on to national.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. What are these the youngsters though coming forward with certain consistent misconceptions about marketing, or expectations are a little off, or like how do you rate? This is kind of goes back to, like, you know, how things changed in 25 years. You know, either what they're being taught in their curriculum, some of the experiential learning, but
Yeah.
you know,
One being that they think they have to leave Huntsville. That's huge. And then maybe with resumes and cover letters and things like that, they feel that they need, you know, if it is a designer, I'm going to go way more towards the designers, but that they need to have this big extravagantly designed resume, and I want to show them mine that's black type on white paper. And it's just really nicely laid out. It's clear, you know. So that's the types of things that we're trying to let them know are more important, is to be clear, concise, spell everything right.
And Tom had spoken to the portfolios.
Don't have a silly email address, you know.
yeah,
But
Professional things that people wish that you would have learned. You know, that you wish
Yeah.
that maybe you had known. I know that some advice on the social media front. I mean, you can say it all day long, but always watch what you put out there.
hold on, I gotta stunt her camera real quick.
Am I blurry?
Yeah, it just happens.
That's not just my eyesight.
I
Okay.
just realized this was in front of the camera, so I'll move it. I haven't even sipped one thing.
Now you're good now. This is why I have monitors so that I can watch this stuff. So is it good enough now that we live in this digital world? Like they have like a website and a link on their resume, and it takes you to some of their work, like their resume, if you will, portfolio. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of the panelists did say website first. Make sure you have a digital presence. Make sure you have, if you're a designer or even if a writer, whomever, have your portfolio up there, have some of your work. And it just kind of depends on what the employer, how the employer is accepting resumes. Are you sending it through LinkedIn or something? If so, like I said, if you want to take out all of that design because whatever's reading it, if it's a bot or something, it might not even capture. I don't know how all of that works, but yeah, I mean, have that digital presence for sure. First and foremost.
Sure.
Oh, but Adrian was speaking to the salespeople, and I know that like we added, you'd asked earlier, and you put up the graphic about the Admire Awards. So that's one way to honor excellence and professionals that
aren't in the
beyond.
Creative realm. Yeah.
That's a touch beyond. So you can. The writers, the designers, there's so many, we've already crossed that book. This big giant book on different awards entries. But with the Admire Awards, that gives it we had a salesperson of the year. So there were 9 categories, and I'm very thankful. So all of that branding came from our AAF Montgomery Club. Yay.
Yay, AAF Montgomery. Thank you.
I know we're going to do.
We have a studio applause.
Yay, exactly. Yay. And then all of those categories came from AAF Birmingham. So we wanted to find a way to tag in and honor professionals. But what is this? Work smarter, not harder. So we're very fortunate that they lent that to us, and that added an extra layer to those awards. It's our first year that we have done that, so I can't wait to see it grow.
I know.
We had it's
and Nevin Langdon, who did our awards.
Yes. Nevin is,
with the silly sign shop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had people say, "Where did you get those? Who made those?" And
He's local.
He's incredible.
He is local, and he's close to you.
Oh, really? Silly Sign Shop.
His work. He's a brilliant designer himself, and now he works with wood and metal, and he has been, and he does so many different awards. Him and his son.
So.
That I love. People always comment on that flag. I get that at home in like their metal section. I love that store.
I keep looking at it in her background.
Where? Hold on.
It's behind
the American
you.
flag. Yeah,
you can see it on the screen.
I've been meaning
how
to
cool it looks behind you.
It makes people's like outfits and complexion pop. It's just something about it. And I've put other things back there, and I put that right back up.
Yeah,
because there's something about it. But I'll go to at home and just cruise the aisles. Just for anything just to catch my eye, artwork or something like that from the metal.
It's been a while since I've been there.
I was thinking, did you watch the Oscars last night?
Were they on last night?
Yeah, it was on. Oppenheimer cleaned up.
Oh.
But at one point in the show, I was just kind of thinking about how you were saying there's just a lot of elements to creativity that go unsung, right, and no noticed. And like the older I get, the more and more I appreciate lighting. And sound, and even watching the AAF, you guys have like on YouTube, I think there's like basically the entire presentation of the nominees and the awardees from your prior years.
Maybe
they're on there, and like it's just kind of like I saw a couple from Redbeard Films, which I know he works with Phil at Library, and it's like I looked at it like that's amazing, like that's Hollywood quality lighting coming out of a firm in Huntsville, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, at one point in the show, they had all the people. You're there to celebrate all the actors, that I get more and more like an opinion. I get a hard opinion to those actors, right? How out of touch they are of the world. But at one point, they had like all the production people come out that are working last night, and there was like 50 of them. And everyone's got headsets on, like just to pull off the production of this show. And actually, every year they kind of push the envelope with how they do the show. And I really appreciate production value, from doing something. But most people don't. And it's sad because they're just so talented and creative on how do you make that show look different every year.
Yeah.
Well, you've been watching it for 100 years, how long TV's been on. But every year you got to do something different. in the same venue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought last night was brilliant what they were doing.
Yeah, that's what I always try to say about the American Advertising Awards is that it is the most entertaining award show in North Alabama because I know most everybody's been to an award show here and it's giving out the awards and saying a few things and then they sit down. Well, for us, you get to watch a video or you get to see a piece of art and you get to, what my favorite part is the credits, like you said. Each person that is credited for working on that piece is huge. And
they're listed and they're named
yeah.
by name. So
Yeah. And you'll see things that you recognize, like, oh, I've seen that hype video for the Havoc. Like, that's so cool that guy did that.
Oh yeah.
And so it's stuff like that that makes it, anybody could go to that. And it's like I say, it's our Oscars of advertising. So
that was even in the tagline. Well done.
The Oscars.
I wonder who wrote it.
What was the tagline again?
I just copied and pasted, my friend.
You
when
say
I
that
was
again?
using it
This
for
is one of our social.
What was it?
Oh, Adrian wrote the Oscars of advertising.
Gotcha. Give me this. What's the best piece that you've ever developed that you're most proud of
Oh wow.
in your career, or I don't know, even if you were just when you were a kid, something you're like, you can't stop thinking about how cool it was.
Oh gosh, there's so much.
There's so many.
Bad. I do think I have one. I was lucky enough to be asked to be a part of creating a book for the YMCA's 100th anniversary, and this was quite a while ago. I'm thinking 2010-ish, and it was such a journey learning about the 100 years that YMCA has as a history here in Huntsville, and going into that the YMCA building on Green Street, and seeing there's an old basketball floor in there that still exists. They've remodeled, but that floor is still there.
Real quick, 100 years in Huntsville or 100 years total?
In Huntsville.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And so we created this beautiful book. I got to pick out everything from the cover paper to how it was going to be bound, the interior paper, everything. I just got to sit there and feel all the, so to be a part of, watching the content being written and working with the photographer to get the photos exactly, and to be there in my career at that time, learning as I go as well. It was really cool to be a part of. And then that was also my first ever best of show. And I cried. It was so special to then have it culminate with something like that. So deserving, I think, of all the people that worked on that book.
Yeah.
So
Good for
really
you.
Cool.
What about you, Danielle?
Probably Kylie Meets Cooley. My daughter and I co-authored a kids book years ago, and that was an incredible experience. You talk about
That's
coming
huge.
from the front to the back. She would get sick of the princess story, the same old stories, because we would make up bedtime stories at night, and that was a bedtime story, and we got finished with it. And she's like, I think that could be a book. And it was about the relationship, of a cow and a girl, and seeing the good in others and building that up. And your kid tells you, "Hey, I think this could be a book," and you're
Let's do it.
And I'm like, you know what? We can, let's see where we can go with that. And so to have that process, be involved in that process with my daughter.
This is something you made up. This is a story and the characters, and then
And then it's very special to me. A dear friend of mine did the artwork for it and the illustrations. And when you know someone for a long time, I'm like, hey, can I have the pencil? And so she, I feel like I had a hand in absolutely everything. It's the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the creation process from beginning to end.
Probably a lot of learning as you go too.
It was a ton of learning because, I had in the PR side, I had represented authors. And so to go through the processes, there are several different avenues that you can publish through now, traditional, non-traditional, but to go through that process, it gave me, I got to walk alongside my daughter, and she did her first live TV interview when she was so young. And I feel like having those experiences, I don't know, I think it makes it special when you're walking along family.
It's a good idea.
So that was one of my favorite, but I also had art in Panoply when I was a kid. So Panoply Arts Festival, I have to give a shout out to Arts Huntsville. There's a piece a hands piece that I've drawn. I don't know. Art has literally been involved in every.
When you traced your hand?
Huh? Yeah. So I'm like, hold on, Deborah. We talked about that.
No, I just
Okay.
guessed.
I'm like, hold on.
You said a hand piece.
It,
so
it was
just,
line art. So no. I
Okay.
mean, I drew the hand and then shadows, and it was all pencil, and it was line art to it, and like, it's we still have that.
Oh, I was just about to ask if you still have it, but I didn't want to put you on the spot in case you didn't.
And a seahorse piece in panoply. I feel like when you're a kid and you are, your value in what you've produced is seen. I mean, that gave me. I was like, yeah. I'm like, look, my art is here.
Having your art as a kid, being chosen to be in
Recognized.
something it's
Yeah.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a whether it's something you made or something you gave? I'm thinking of something like a present maybe you gave somebody at Christmas or a birthday that surprises you now how fondly you look back on it.
A gift that was
Could be a gift, like a piece of art. I'll give you an
Okay.
example.
Okay.
I was 8 years old. My mom had a tragic accident, so we ended up living with my grandparents for a while. She never fully recovered, but I very distinctly remember that Christmas getting $20, and this was in Virginia, and they dropped us off at the mall, and we had to somehow buy everybody a Christmas gift with $20, which was like 6 people, or maybe 8 people, and so it's like you're looking for things that are $1. It was like it was kind of like what it would now be like a pharmacy.
Yeah.
Like going to CVS or like a Walgreens. It was called Woolworths.
We
and
had a Woolworths downtown.
You had a Woolworths, right?
Yeah, we did, with a counter and everything in the 80s.
And I ended up getting my grandfather. It's like an old man, and he's kind of like, he's got a Bible, and he's kind of thinking, and his elbow's on the Bible, and he's just kind of thinking. And my grandpa didn't have a beard, but this man had a beard. But I was like, man, I just see my grandpa on this. It was like $1.50. I'm sure it was on clearance 9 times over, and I buy this thing, and it ends up like we still have it.
Yeah.
Like that was 40 years
Still
ago, and it
there,
got like my mother had it in Florida, then my grandmother had it until she died, and my mother got it again, and then I think we might have it, and it's like the whole family really likes this piece of art that cost me $1.50 when I was 8, just on a whim. I was like, I just need to like get something for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know what to get my grandfather, and it has become this very like meaningful piece of art to our family that we still have.
Nice.
Well,
It's a fond memory.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So we gave my grandmother and grandfather, it was probably 80s, 90s again, right? Have no idea what was the actual gift was, but part of the wrapping paper was a very small tin imprint that had a pineapple. And that was part of the bow that had been drawn in. And I know that sounds a little simplistic, and I have no idea what was in that box, but the little tin pineapple is in my kitchen.
Okay.
And I love it.
How long ago was that? In the 80s or 90s?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
It's not technically art, but to me it is. I
Yeah.
use it as that. It sits in the windowsill.
It's art. I think we stumped her.
I know.
She got too many.
Well, I mean, I was thinking of I was trying to make it really heartfelt because your guys is still.
Make us cry.
Yeah,
something
that's
make us
all I
cry.
want to do.
Okay, hold on. We all need a minute.
And get some tissues.
Prepare to cry.
I think and mine's going to be a little bit later in life, but my gift for when my friends were all having kids, I would make onesies for their showers and just iron-ons.
Oh, how cool.
But they all had something to do with the parents, and, either funny or just kind of, normal, or like, what's actually funny now that it just popped in my head, it would be like Auburn class of 2024, which is insane because
Yeah.
that's about what
That's where we're
gotten
at.
to.
Yes.
And so, and I've had friends send me pictures, and they're like almost in tears of like, look at this thing that you made, and my kid is like 20.
You can't get rid of that.
And so, that's just, and then I've made like wedding invitations for friends too, where they'll send me a picture where they're just going through boxes or something, and they're like, look what I just found. So that's the kind of things that get me, that I can't believe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I made that. Yeah.
So similar question. Do you have like a box of memories that you drag around with you? And there's probably something in there when you were first grade or second grade and some of your first artwork right? Or writing.
My mom
do.
still has that. She's the one that has the art that we were talking about.
My mom's been trying to
Yeah.
be like, will you take this when I go over there now? She's like, here, I got more boxes for you to take.
I had like perfect penmanship in first grade because
Oh, nice.
we had to do like, we would have to write things and I look at it because I took my time.
Yeah.
And then I guess after first grade, I stopped taking my time. But I was like, wow, I had like perfect writing.
That's when they give you all the lines to go
So
up
it's
to and to
there.
go down to.
I have the capacity because I could do it when I was 6.
Yeah.
But now I can't read my own handwriting.
Yeah,
That's when you were a sponge.
it is.
Yeah. Now, you have siblings, right?
I do.
Are they similar to you? Or are you the oddball?
I'm definitely the oddball. They would all say yes. But I mean, I think we're all oddballs in our own
Are they engineers?
right.
Are they like more left brain, right brain? Like,
My sister actually went into marketing, but her degree was psychology. And she was in marketing for Southwest Airlines for, I don't know how many years, 15 years
wow.
or so. My older brother is just, out of this world smart engineer. And my little brother is kind of a mix. And him and I almost feel like we're like separate generations from those two. We're like very similar. He's very artistic but also super book smart and has a whole library the size of that wall of books. And I am an audiobook girl.
Yeah, I
have
don't
a
read
book on
books,
tape.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't read. And so we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. But yeah, it's funny. It's
Interesting.
one of I'm just fascinated by siblings. How can we be so different?
Mhm.
We were raised so like nature over nurture for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you? You have siblings?
I'm an only child.
Only child.
Mm-hmm.
What about your cousins or those in your, immediate DNA circle of influence?
I guess I can most speak to. I don't have my family is all over the country and world, so I never had. I did have both of my parents close growing up, but that was it. We would have to travel to see other people. When I had my 2 kids, added a second one to that mix. That was madness for a
Yeah.
little bit. I'm like, this is, my best friend growing up was one of 5, but it's different when you're there all the
Yes.
Yeah.
Get it.
all the time. So watching them, they're so very different. And they love each other, and there's a 7-year age gap. But Kylie is she's my peacemaker, and she's very practical. She's actually on the medical track, and that's something that she's known for a very long time. That is her path. As of a visit, you have a poster up here of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. So as of a field trip there, now Colton would like to be an astrophysicist,
Oh,
and he may just do it.
Yeah.
It's like-
Nice.
yeah. So he has the science, but he's my art kid. He's the one that has the art on the refrigerator that's Colton's art stand and is consistently drawing and designing out.
Nice.
He hones in on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Isn't it fascinating to see how different they can be?
It
The
is.
Same upbringing.
It is, but Kylie is my introvert. I mean, she's not an introvert, but she does pageants and she has different hobbies. And so they're just completely different. Not in a bad way, just different. Yeah. Have y'all ever acted? I've acted some.
Not really. Like maybe at church when I was little, but I wish. Like that is one thing I wish my parents would have.
So stage versus
put me in.
TV or film, which way would you go? Well, you can go. You could do this at
I
any
wanna-
age, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Actors come in all
I
shapes,
want to be on a
sizes,
soap
ages.
opera. I just
Okay.
want to be on a soap opera where
Do
I
ya?
don't really have to be that good. But still live somewhat of a cushy life.
Okay, I can see that set in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Why not?
I can see that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Me and my little brother would always say that. Like people wouldn't necessarily recognize us if we were out.
We'll call it
but
Big Spring Park.
Yes. And I just heard the theme music in my head. It's like
Oh,
about-
yeah, what
the
was it?
elevator music.
Have you wanted to be an actor?
I've always had fun with it. I was raised on the stage, so I was a part of Fantasy Playhouse here. As a kid, I've been in their productions, did some short films, and jumped in. They're just 2 completely
Sure.
different styles of acting and training that's required. Like we have Hollywood Huntsville here. Bill and Ioka Billions are incredible teachers, actors, casting directors, but they're just incredible human beings in general. And I've trained some with them, and my kids have both trained. Like Colton did voiceover work and got paid for it. last year, and which was pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
do voiceover. That's
And
like a dream.
and Kylie, she is trained, and while she hasn't directly worked, that would be on me because you have to set up the accounts and you have to bid and you have to film at your house. There's so much that goes into each audition that you're trying to put in for, but for her, it's really helped her in interviews. She's in pageants, and so that's a part of that. I mean, in addition to working with interview coaches, she also has had that background experience, and I mean, it's fun. I mean, I've been a featured extra on TV Nashville. That was fun.
Really?
I've had a really random, amazing life.
Yeah, you're doing hackathons.
I
and
do,
you've got a patent.
Yeah.
Interesting lady.
I know.
Yeah. I think that's a part of I love life, and I still don't necessarily know what I want to be when I grow up.
Neither do
But
I.
I'm having so much fun in the process.
I think when I turned 40, I made this commitment to not waste a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I wasted, I had to work full time. I got through my master's, I was working full time. We had family. I was tired, and I just wanted to I was never home.
Mm-hmm.
My kids would cry when I had to go to school on a Saturday because I was on this program where it was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday morning. Why do you got to go? I was it's going to be worth it one day, right?
Right.
But now, and
That's
I just
such a
felt like I
balance.
just I wasn't seizing the day
Mm-hmm.
back then. And then I turned 40, it's seize the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just try,
Mhm.
dabble in whatever, try everything and see what sticks. Yeah. You said voiceover. That would be
And she
Do
has
it.
the voice for
So
it too. Both of you.
cool.
Yeah.
And
Do you want to do a practice run now? Should I bring something up on the
I
screen?
don't know.
I can hear you narrating already.
I don't know.
Well, there's something to be said for I don't know if I was ever a talent scout. Sometimes you want a female voice and sometimes you want a male voice.
Yeah.
And I would think you would just listen to constantly, what about that? What about, oh, that's the one. That's it. What's her name? Yeah, bring her in. You just are looking for something to fit.
Yeah. I took this class, and what's funny, what I realized was in the middle of it, because I was thinking, well, I don't even know how to break into this or do this, and there's a lot of etiquette, and then I realized, wait, I work with a bunch of advertisers and marketers. I know a ton of them, and they need voiceovers all the time. What am I thinking? Also, I understand the nuances of advertising. I understand the voices that you need, or that distinct, does it need to be sensual, or does it need to be fun and exciting? Are we talking to kids, or are we talking to, baseball fans? And so I'm wait, it's not that scary or hard. I'm not saying it's not difficult.
Because you know how to speak to your audience, and it's a part of
Right.
what you do, regardless of what
And
you're
I was
doing.
not thinking that at all. I was
with
this is
the
a
design
totally different
versus-
industry. I don't know anything about it.
So here, let's do this. Let's
Oh,
each take a
gosh.
turn
Oh my
and
gosh.
read that. How would you read that first paragraph? Because what's crazy is
I love it.
I've always wanted to do an audiobook, but it's got to be extremely hard.
I want to do an audiobook.
Because you're just I could be we are a member of the American Advertising Federation, the nation's oldest national advertising. But so it's they could be, stop. You're putting too much stress on the
Yes.
oldest. Okay, let me try that again. We are a member of the American Advertising Federation, the nation.
Yeah.
It's oh man, how do you want me to read this?
Mm-hmm. Well, so have you wanted to narrate an audiobook, or have you wanted to write a book and then
I don't want
narrate your own book?
Maybe that's what I need to do.
I want
Right,
to do.
Trevor.
I want to do both.
Okay.
Although usually I poo-poo the author who's also the voiceover. You just hire it out.
No, I like it.
Do you like it?
I do.
I guess it
Especially if it's
depends
a
on who it is.
celebrity.
Depends
yeah.
on who it is.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right, I'm waiting for you to read.
Oh, it's
I'm
me?
hold on.
I think we were all
Yeah,
going to
you're
take
up.
turns.
I know.
All right, here we go. We have Adrian Van Kirk. This is take one of We Are Part of Something Bigger, and action.
We are a part of something bigger. We are a member of the American Advertising Federation, the nation's oldest national advertising trade association and the only association representing all facets of the advertising industry. Headquartered in Washington, D.C., the AAF acts as the unifying voice for advertising.
That's a tough one, right? Because then when you're doing
is
it,
that?
you got to make sure that you're on top of it. All right, you ready, Danielle?
I'm not. I don't know that I'm a voiceover
Well, we're
person.
gonna
I'm
find
going
out.
to give it a
I
shot.
Take
thought you
one.
were experienced.
Danielle Hart,
No,
take
I
one.
haven't done.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
trained for voiceover or done voiceover.
I'm going to tell you about my modeling experience after this.
Oh,
This.
can't wait.
Okay.
We are a part of something bigger. Take one, Danielle Hart. Go.
I can't. It's like- well, I had to not look at you
I
while you
know.
were doing yours. We are a part of something bigger. We are a member of the American Advertising Federation, the nation's oldest national advertising trade association, and the only association representing all facets of the advertising industry. Headquartered in Washington, D.C., the AAF acts as the unifying voice for advertising.
Nice.
And then is it faucets or is it? We said it
Facets.
different.
I said facets, but
I
I'm
know.
very-
I'm like, hold on.
I'm
Gala
very
or
Gala,
Gala?
Midwestern.
Gala,
Yeah.
tomato.
That's my Midwestern. Yeah.
Okay.
Facets.
Is that from? Are you from? What is that from?
St. Louis, I guess.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
I was just about. There's a lady I know that's like more from Michigan, and she kind of has that same.
It's similar,
some
yeah.
of that
And mine, I don't know. Give me a couple drinks, and it's even more pronounced.
turns into Boston.
yeah,
after
like
that.
my mom. Me and my mom. I don't know. It's true though.
Yeah, it's tough. You start even just reading one paragraph. You're like, whoa, like.
Because you have
Can
to
I
find
continue
this.
that style throughout the whole book if
Yeah.
I was to do it? you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That- and then all the editing that goes in to slam all that together. Like, well,
well, I don't have to do that part, do
someone
I?
does. I'm just saying. like,
That's
how many
not me,
pages
right?
is this book? 500? Or how many hours do we have?
I
Like,
did make a little studio in my closet, though.
Did you for Astound?
Yeah, I got that far, and then I was like,
I didn't know
You still have that closet?
yeah, got my desk in there, and I have a little cute microphone, and
What are you recording into?
I should know that.
A little Zoom
I'm getting
recorder?
really excited.
should get
I
a-
didn't know that.
I think I have one in there. It's an H4n Zoom. Those are good. It's like a
Um,
little field recorder.
Gosh, I'm gonna tell you when I get home. I forget what it's. I'm trying to see the box. That was fun.
Is it,
Unboxing
like
it was really.
Is it a soundboard or is it like just a box?
Oh, or you're talking about. So I've got my. I thought I was talking about the microphone
Oh.
itself. And then I did get a box, but then they told me I didn't need that, and
Are you
then I
going
could
into
go
the
right
laptop?
into my laptop. And then I have Adobe.
Or Audacity? You're doing audio only?
Yes. Yeah, you asked about acting. Like I think I'd just rather be audio than I think I'd rather be a voiceover than any of them.
I want to do some. You guys want to play some trivia?
Oh.
Sure.
Last time we did a funny game, didn't we, with you and Dana? Like,
Mhm.
I think I had them guess prices from like 1973,
Oh, nice.
like from The Price is Right or something like that. But I've got trivia.
Okay.
All right, don't look at the screen.
Okay.
Well, you can look at that.
Okay.
screen.
I'm like,
Totally want to look at this.
just don't look. Look.
We're gonna have you each do 5 questions,
Oh.
and I will. Don't look at the screen.
Oh.
She's trying to
I was
cheat.
looking at myself.
Don't look at the bottom right one.
Oh, I can't even see that far.
I'm gonna keep a score sheet
No
here.
way I can see that.
Danielle and Adrian.
HDR.
The whole, how to spell it's messing me up. I keep thinking Adrian.
I always tell
Adrian,
people
Adrian.
however you want to spell it.
All right, so 5 questions. First one to 5 wins.
Oh, okay.
They're just trivia questions.
We're
Do
competing.
we
Okay.
have a topic or is this
Nope, general
anything
trivia.
Okay.
This is general
Just to
trivia.
the world.
global
general.
trivia? Here we go.
I'm gonna try to pick ones I think you can answer. How about that?
Are we competing?
Yeah, you're going against each other.
Okay.
But
You want to flip
Is
a
there a
coin?
buzzer?
No. You're gonna each get a chance,
and
and then you
She
have a
can go
chance to
first.
steal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she can
All
go
right, so
first.
Adrian's she goes first.
Okay.
What food never spoils? Question 1. What food never spoils?
That's a hard
Is this a
one.
riddle or is this trivia?
It's true.
She's gonna rhyme it back to us.
I feel like this is a trick question of some sort.
Not a trick question.
What food
I
never
haven't-
spoils? Could it be water? Is that food?
It's not the right answer.
I
Do you want to try
I
to
did
steal?
not think it was the right answer.
I have no clue.
Good.
Okay.
So it's a push. Honey.
Okay.
And so we'll start over. First one to 5.
Man,
Okay.
I was about to say like,
I love honey.
what's that moon ice cream?
Within
stuff?
5, within I'll say 10%. What percentage of the body is made up of water?
Is this me or Danielle?
Back to you.
Me again.
What percentage of the human body is made up of water?
I have known this. in
Within,
the
I'll give you
past.
within 10%.
70%.
You get 60%. So you got
Oh,
Yay!
it. There you go. Within 10 miles an hour, how fast can cheetahs run?
Within 0 to 10 miles an hour.
Within what's your answer has to be
okay,
within
no.
10 miles an hour.
have you seen Talladega Nights? is
Yeah,
that a
it's a
cheetah?
cougar.
Cougar.
Why is there a cougar in my car?
I have no idea. I'm going with 68.
75. So you
Ooh.
got
Okay.
it.
I'm like,
Good
We're
job.
really gonna make this with a.
All right. Slightly easier question. Adrian, who gave the United States the Statue of Liberty?
France.
Good job. There's a point for you.
Thanks.
I feel like I'm gonna get hung up on a really easy
That's
answer.
what I was. That was my fear.
What galaxy do we live in?
The Milky Way.
The Milky Way. Good. See?
It's like-
What are diamonds made of? Miss
Um,
Adrian.
I know this one.
Like, it's is it coal or rock? It's like something in there.
It starts with the letter C, not coal. I gave her a hint.
But I was going with coal.
Charcoal.
It's.
It's
Well, I guess maybe it could be a derivative of it.
I was going coal volcanic ash because it's
Yeah.
what's yeah
They're saying carbon.
carbon.
So let's throw that one away.
I do. Thank you for.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Thanks. Like, we got this.
What is the? Oh, here's an interesting question.
This is team trivia.
how-
Team trivia for sure. I'm way better at team trivia.
This is a perfect example of like marketing companies in the area, but we're bound. We come together through AAF.
Oh,
Exactly.
That's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many
Teamwork.
colors are there in a rainbow?
7.
Yes, she got it.
Did you do the Roy
'Cause there's
G.
a
Biv?
violet.
Yeah.
There's a
What is the square root of 25?
5.
Yes.
Oh, thanks for not giving me
See,
math.
I'm trying to match like.
Don't give me math.
Okay, here's a tough
Just
one.
give me rainbow
I'm
math.
gonna give you each a
I'll
tough
do that
one.
all day.
What is the largest desert in the world?
Oh, Death Valley. I don't know why I just said
Incorrect.
that. I just.
I don't know. It's my hobby.
It's actually kind of a trick question. Antarctica.
Oh, see now.
I can.
we would've gone there.
What's the longest beach?
Somebody knows.
What's
that,
the
but it
longest
wasn't
beach in the world and the nation?
Long Beach.
Four.
That's it.
Long-
It's actually.
Is it really?
It's,
I was gonna say something in the panhandle.
it is. I was good.
Thank you.
You're
Keep throwing me those easy ones.
What is the largest ocean on planet Earth?
Is this me again?
Back to you. It's 3-3, by the way.
The Pacific Ocean.
Yes, you got it.
yeah. That was
Smartest I've ever felt.
Which direction does the sun rise?
the sunrise.
Mm-hmm. I
Have
went ahead
to-
and gave you the point already.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're gonna get this right.
So I'm like, hold on. It rises in the east.
Yes.
And sets in the
There you
west.
go.
I had to.
I say it to
Yeah, I have
myself
to-
often. That's like a righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of these are too easy.
It's okay. We like those points.
Which continent is the country of Morocco a part of? Which continent is Morocco a part of?
You know this one.
I should.
Go with your gut.
I don't do continents very well. Golly.
Think of Dorothy's dog as a
The-
hint. Kind of as a weird hint.
Did you just throw me off even more?
No,
No.
this is
Oh.
actually that was good.
It's a good hint.
Yeah, it is a good hint. What's Dorothy's dog's name?
Toto.
Okay. What's a song?
Who sings Toto?
Who sings
Oh,
Toto?
Africa.
Yay, she got it.
That was awesome.
I love Toto. I love Africa.
How's that for a hint?
I'm smarter than that, and
Y'all-
I know my continents.
Y'all have to do this for me on this one. I'm waiting.
All right, last
Ooh.
one. This is to tire.
Uh-oh.
What is the largest? Well, I'm sorry. What is the world's highest mountain peak?
The world's highest mountain peak?
World's tallest mountain.
Isn't it Mount Everest?
Yes.
Okay.
Good job.
I'm like, hold on. But these are the ones that you make you second guess yourself.
I'd say she won.
All right, let's do this.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
ask.
team.
She didn't
It's
need as
team.
much help, but
It's team. We won.
I'm going to ask one question, and it's the first one to blurt out the answer. They'll be the winner.
oh
Okay.
gosh.
Who is the lead singer of the band Queen?
Freddie Mercury.
Boom. Did you know it too?
Mr. Mercury.
Okay.
Yes.
That'll be fun to edit all that together. There's some hard ones in here. Like, I didn't know this one. This is what is a group of crows called?
A group of crows?
A murder.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a murder of crows.
Sheesh.
Yeah. All right. We just both
Ask me
won
the
for
easy
that one.
ones,
That was
yeah,
an
right?
awesome one.
We just beat
How many
you.
bones are in the human body? This is question 1. I think this is like a hard way to start this.
186.
206.
Oh.
I knew there was 6.
Okay.
It's crazy. That's like number 1 question. Like, what kind of game are we getting into?
Yeah.
How much does a human head weigh?
How do you even know?
12
It
pounds?
was like Jerry Maguire or something.
Is it 12 pounds? I don't know what it is.
No
I
idea.
don't know. It was 8
8 pounds?
something.
Okay. I have no
Wow.
idea.
Is there anything else you guys want to cover that we didn't hit on?
The conference.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why
Why are we here? We're here to
Why?
no, just kidding.
Duh.
We're just here to hang out with you, Troy. Always,
The
right?
only thing that I've literally been sleeping, and breathing is this conference for the
It's
last.
like you get home. And, did you talk about the conference? No, we got to go back. All right, so yeah, what do we have upcoming? You just had the awards in February.
Mhm.
Next big thing on the horizon is
We have Spring Leadership Conference, and this is really. Go ahead. This is really
Not
special.
leadership conference,
Oh,
but that's okay.
well, tell
no
me,
one would
he
really.
Can, he can change this. Spring.
Oh, spring
Sorry,
convention.
friend.
That's okay.
please.
It's
just
fall
spring,
leadership.
Fall leadership. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at.
Spring Convention.
My coffee has officially run out. Okay, we have Spring Convention in Huntsville, where the 5 states worth of professionals and clubs will come here, and we get to show them who we are and what we are. And it's actually super, super special because Adrian is the president. Adrian
the
is
president.
dun, 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 dun. No, I'm just kidding. She is the governor-elect for our 5-state region, which is a huge deal. And this conference is where she will be installed.
Oh, cool.
It's an incredible honor. A lot of people don't know that there's a very long succession plan. So she has been a part of the executive committee on the District 7 board and has stepped up each year into this role. And it's huge. And we're excited, and we cannot wait to celebrate her. And that's a lot of work she has.
Thank you.
That's coming. Yeah. I mean, like, no, seriously, when I tell you she is AAF to me, I mean, like, yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does that process work then? Like, let's start with how long have you been in the
Succession
elect?
plan. Each year, so a year as governor-elect.
Okay.
And our year runs from July to June. So it will be kind of the pomp and circumstance and the showing of our leadership changing in April, but we really don't take that office until July.
So you act as the elect for a year, and then you'll take over for a year?
Mhm.
Okay.
But what position did you start at on executive council and move your way down?
So it was
Up.
Yeah.
2019. No, it was 2020 to 2021 was my secretary treasurer year, and just to do so 2 years prior to that, I was a regional director, and then the 2 years prior to that, I was the president of our local chapter.
Okay.
So there's 4 years, and then it's a 4-year succession plan once you get into the executive committee. So secretary treasurer, and then second lieutenant governor, first lieutenant governor, governor-elect,
Wow.
governor.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
been a long time.
It's a huge commitment.
And then what happens when you're done?
I just go out to pasture and no.
Start over?
The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures.
No, then I get to just enjoy these events and not have to work so
Yeah.
hard. But I will be board chair for a year after that,
Okay.
and then I get to go to the events and just enjoy them and let everyone else put them.
But you'll
together.
miss it, right?
I mean, I'll still want to be a part of it for sure. And every governor has a historian
Yeah.
that sits by their side, and that's always a past governor. So there's a chance somebody might ask me to be their historian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, they bring it back as an advisor. They have a few other jobs, but yeah, Teresa Treadway is my historian.
She's going to be
Good
incredible.
choice, right?
Yeah, great choice.
she's a firecracker.
East Tennessee. She's
So the convention, it's going to be held where?
At the Embassy Suites.
Oh, sweet. I love that place.
Yeah, and it's beautiful remodel, right?
Yeah,
And
mhm.
one of my favorite restaurants at Co-op. And so that's April 19th and 20th. We will have, so that's our district conference. And that Thursday night, the 18th, oh gosh, we have a lot. So Design Week Huntsville is that whole week prior.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm sure Lauren might have talked about that. And so we kind of culminate on that Friday. So AAF does our Design Week Huntsville event Thursday. And so we'll have that at UAH at Wilson Hall, and that's for anybody to come, but it's another industry panel. And then that evening we'll have an event at the embassy on the back patio, just networking and hanging around, and basically something for our people that are coming into town to do when they get here. And then Taylor's band, the Silver Silos, they're going to be playing there that night. And then Friday is our one-day local conference. So we open it up to the community on Friday, and that is our workflow conference. And we've got our 6 speakers set, and they are fantastic. I don't know if you have them up on the website there.
I can bring it up.
I am so thrilled that we finally solidified that last week, right?
Workflow conference. It's coming up.
So your theme is flow, though, right? Can you talk to that?
There
This
we
is
go.
this has been a really fun theme.
I can talk about it a little bit, but I've got these professionals that are also going to talk about it even better than I am. But I was fascinated with the idea of flow state. I've always sort of been fascinated by it, but I've never really realized that I could read books on that. I could look into it. There's podcasts, there's websites, there's all kinds of stuff out there. And so I started looking in, and it was 2 years ago. So every governor has to have a theme for their year, and it just kind of solidifies like what your focus is for that year. And 2 years ago, I was at Mississippi Gulf Coast and sitting at our spring conference, and I came up with AAF Flow. And just thinking of how our organization, how our communication flows, how we have, 3 tiers, and how does that communication flow from national to local and back up again so they can hear, things that we're dealing with boots on the ground for our organization. And so flow of conversation, flow of communication, all the different ways, group flow, the way we're flowing tonight, this, it really, the idea of flow state, I think, started a lot with athletes. The way that they can just get in that zone. And that comes from preparation, from getting a good night's rest. So that's another part of it. If you want to be at your peak performance, you also have to give your downtime that 100% as well. And so that's what a lot of our speakers are going to talk on, is not only how you can be at your peak performance during the day, at your job, but also how do you take care of yourself when you're not at work. So it's very much a work and wellness focused conference. It's a little bit different than the norm. There's going to be inspiration, but there's also going to be, just telling you, hey, do you feel overworked? Do you have anxiety and stress and all these feelings? Well, this is a way that you can deal with it.
Is the underpinning of that reconnecting with like your creative juices? Basically, that's what you're getting to. Is
where
like
your passion is. Yeah.
How do you ignite that? And if it subsides, how do you get it back?
Yeah.
And or what are those things going on in your life that are preventing you from?
Yes. What are the killers and triggers of that flow state of that? So and how can you get into it? So a lot of people might not even realize things that they do all day. Like sometimes I find myself wearing my headphones with no sound at all, but those headphones bring focus to me.
I would never do a podcast without headphones.
Yeah.
Because if you take them off, you're hypersensitive to ambient things. And you also, I think it prevents you from really being transparent.
Yeah.
It's just not my style.
I do Zoom calls with headphones. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't have that much sound around me, but it helps me focus in on what I'm doing in that moment. And so it's that, helping you get into that flow state, helping you get your best 100% recovery and what that is for you, because everybody's different. And then we've got, some really great inspirational speakers as well from our area.
And they'll all somewhat be talking on flow state and how they enter that? Okay.
Who are our Friday speakers? Do you have this?
So Megan LeGrave, these are our Friday right here, these 6. She is coming in from Boulder, Colorado, and she is a data scientist, so has some just really cool insight on the data that agencies are using, that everyone is using to market and things like that, better market. Jordan is coming in from Atlanta, and he is actually from North Alabama. And he is VP of Technology, and he's also a
Professor.
Yes, he's also an adjunct professor, and I want to read this.
Financial tech.
Yes, thank you. Financial tech and behavioral finance, which I find so fascinating. And he wrote his dissertation.
That's interesting.
Right? He wrote his dissertation on flow, and he uses flow a lot in his work and in the finance sector. And the guy can it's so fascinating to have a conversation with both of them, with actually all of these people. But Maria Brito, she is a self-love coach. She's here in North Alabama, and she has been my women's empowerment guru for the past 6 years of my life. And I am a completely different person from who I was 6 years ago because of that human being right there. And she is just lovely and doing really cool things in North Alabama. Jackie Brown. She used to be in the advertising industry. She was actually a president of AAF.
Okay.
She just won our silver award last year, and she has made a career change to being a career coach. And I worked with her for the end of 2023 last year, just talking through stuff and figuring out my personality and what I am beyond graphic design, because I am so much more than a graphic designer, especially 25 years into my career. And so she's just incredible. I got so many amazing insights from her, and she's going to bring in a lot of cool, that same type of where are you in your profession, and what do you have to look forward to? You know, even if it's looking towards retirement, what does that look like?
Yeah.
I'm excited for both of the locals. I
Yeah.
have wanted to ping in with something that Maria has done for so long.
I hope you
She
do.
does a lot locally.
Yes.
And it's all different, but it's all.
She's going to do a...
I give you hands. It seems like it's all encompassing, you know?
It is.
Yeah.
She's going to do an immersive headphone experience.
Oh, cool.
For everybody. Cody Gopher is here locally as well. He is with not only the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, he's done a lot in the music industry here. He has been a producer, and he's going to talk about this region. And he tells this great story about he did leave for a long time thinking that he needed to find inspiration in other places and traveled globally. And when he came back here is when he realized how important our region is and how much history it has and how inspired you can get just right here in North Alabama. So he's going to be so inspiring. And Darian Craig, he was my final piece to the pie. He's actually...
Oh, this is the guy you were telling me about.
I used to work with him. He was a coworker of mine, and he left a few years ago, and he'd already started this sweet tea company where they were going to festivals and selling straight from the jar. And when he left our company, he started working more with Y'all Sweet Tea, and he has built that to a multi-million-dollar,
Really
beautiful business. And when you hear him talk, he's so inspiring. He talks about his mama, and like it's her recipe, and he's I believe he's from Gunnersville.
Wow.
And
You have to give credit where credit's due, right? Mama needed it.
Yeah.
and he is it's Mima or Mama, but it's so
Okay.
cute. And what he's done with his social media, he was already doing it. He just was so talented and passionate about that he has built a brand with what he was already doing. And if you look them up online on social, he's doing some really cool stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And I'm excited for Jackie.
I know.
She's just great in general in life.
Yep.
And
Have more conversation with her. She's wonderful. And follow them all. And she's wonderful to follow on LinkedIn. I'm sure they all are, but she's just really got some great
she drops
snippets.
like wisdom
Yes.
nuggets. Yeah.
Nuggets, yeah, for sure.
You know, the brilliance of that flow thing that you came up with, right? And I was talking to Ellen Didier, and she came up with, the city of Decatur had failed in hiring some company out of Birmingham to do kind of a brand refresh of their city.
Yeah.
And they spent like $118,000 and got nothing out of it. So then they hired Red Sage, and she came up with the whole positively Decatur, positively outdoors, everything, positively something.
Yes.
And I just was kind of thinking and I was like, now who gets credit for that? She's like, I take credit for that. She was on her boat or something, and it just came to her. And so I was thinking of that as you said you were down on the beach, right? And you came up with
I was actually at a conference. But in Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Oh, okay. I heard Gulf Coast.
And it was just that
moment
felt like it felt like something we needed. We needed to really focus on the flow of this organization and how to make it, it's a different world now than it was before 2020. And how do we make this, how do we grow with the way that it's growing? How do we evolve with the way that it's evolving? Yeah. And I just think that comes with a lot of conversation and a lot of adaptation.
Yeah.
And that's flow as well. Just being prepared and being ready to move along with the way things are moving. So
it's such a cool descriptor because if you have good flow, probably you have a good culture, good communication, right? Insights, creativity.
That's what I'm hoping for.
It's a cool verb.
And that very much fits you too. It does. It fits her as a person. Like, I feel like you emulate peace.
I try.
You emulate strength.
I can't always, but
well, I mean, we're not all. Yeah, we all have our,
moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
we operate more like sisters now.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
both of you.
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Did it meet your expectations?
Thank you for inviting me.
Adrian with one N.
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Absolutely. My expectations, I was just trying not to think about it so I wouldn't be nervous.
You weren't nervous, were you?
That's the exact text that
Very
I got this
comfortable.
morning.
Very comfortable. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. What about you?
Oh, my second podcast experience has been incredible.
You were over on the couch the other time.
I was very much so, and I did. You surprised me, and I rose to the challenge. But I'm in a T-shirt. Thank goodness it was for VOP, and it was my VOP T-shirt.
Oh, see, perfect.
I could have given you an Our Town one if you needed it.
Oh, that's what I should have done. No. Yeah, this has been a great experience. So the first one I like to laugh at because if you're on live TV and they switch cameras, then that's kind of my blink moment. And you can tell that when you're doing that even for short interviews. So I sat on that couch and did that whenever I didn't think you were filming me. So I got all my blinks in so that when you came back, I was good to go. And then I'm like, no, that's not how this works. He's good. He's looking at me all the time. So, but that's how you learn. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome.
One time to talk, to support Dana with Village of Promise. We love what we do and in cycle poverty for a small pocket of Huntsville and North Huntsville. It's hard work. It's great work. And we're, thankful to be able to do that. And second podcast, it's been great. It's been, I went on with one of my close friends and one of my new close friends.
I appreciate it.
Great conversation.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's actually, I think we've been going at it for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Which is good.
I didn't even
It goes
know
by fast.
It does go by fast.
I was looking at my watch is it really 8 o'clock? That was 7 o'clock. No, whatever.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's all good.
Yay.
Dinner
next.
Any final thoughts or shout outs?
Go to the website. It's aafna.org/workflow. You can just get there, aafna.org. We've got events coming up next week. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Oh, that's right. That's an event. That's pretty cool.
I read that at the awards, and I read SH exclamation point.
You said it so fast, too. I was like, how'd she say that so perfectly?
Here it is right here.
Exclamation point T together. So it really is a cool interactive process. And it's myself and an AAF Tuscaloosa member, also District
Secretary Treasurer
Treasurer
Rebecca Royan.
So
thank you.
Yes.
Is there meant to be a carriage return in the second together? Or is that just the...
So that isn't showing it well. If you look at the graphic.
Up here?
Oh, click the... You're going to buy your ticket, right?
Oh, buy tickets.
Yeah, you should just go ahead and buy tickets now.
And go
Let's
through
go through the
I'm sure my credit card.
process.
There it is. Oh, yeah. There we go. So it's all caps.
It's basically we're doing this together. It's not just Rebecca and I talking to you the whole time. We've got this fun little interactive thing where whoever you're sitting at your table with, you're going to kind of put these things together. If you've just been feeling overwhelm or imposter syndrome, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I have been feeling that lately. What's causing that? Well, let's look into what might be causing that. Is that because I don't feel confident enough in what I'm doing? But, and if that's the case, then what can I do to manage that? Well, I can look at my successes that I've had over the last year. And I have been very successful. I have done these things. I should be confident in myself, and I should not think that I'm in this position and I don't deserve it. So it's that type of
Well, you're 45. You know what this reminds me of? And you know what it reminds me of?
I don't know.
SNL?
Oh.
Daily Affirmations with
Yes,
Stuart Smalley?
you guys, I think this is the reason why I am the way that I am. It's Stuart Smalley.
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And
gosh
doggone
darn
it.
People like
People
me.
like me.
I was like, gosh darn it. Doggone it. Maybe you changed it up. But I thought about that the other day, and I giggled to myself, and I'm pretty sure that's why I am the way that I am.
Yeah.
It's that guy.
What about you? Final thoughts?
We were talking about word of the year, and Adrian had flow, and for our board's tagline of the year was one team, one dream. So
Okay.
we want to invite anyone out, community members, anybody who touches advertising, come hang out with us, come to an event. If you have questions, want to get to know any of us, just email, reach out. I love the one team, one dream. I think it's really honed and focused. We've been talking about focused and flow, but I think it has gotten us into the flow state so that we can rebuild, recraft, and move forward. We have a crazy strong board.
I was
of
just about to say
professionals.
that, and the board has just come through unbelievably. And what we got to announce at the awards was just so fun to watch. So fun to watch you bring up each one and the things that they've done this year. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, those are fun. And so we have club achievement. That's how we share who we are with district. And so our notebooks are in right now for judging. So we will see. We do not have scores back, and we will not know anything until spring conference. But
wasn't that fun to look back at our successes?
That's where I was going with that. Thank you for completing my thought.
No, sorry.
No, that's what I meant. Yeah. I mean, it's there's 5 different areas that we get to highlight what we've done, and looking back over the year and seeing that it really collectively has been a board effort that has led us forward, and it's that passion.
Yeah.
All ties back to
I
that.
feel bad. I'm going to be in D.C. I'm going to miss the 20th, but I'll go to the next event.
I'm going to D.C. on Thursday. I heard her say that you were just there and you're going back. I'm just going for.
You're going this Thursday?
Yeah. We have our AAF Governors Forward Planning.
Downtown, or is it in Virginia?
It's in the city at the
Hampton. Inn?
Hamilton Hotel. So.
That is always I can get into DC, getting out's always difficult. It's like you never go the same way.
Yeah, I'm going to be in an Uber, and it's going to take me where I need to
Oh,
go.
that's true. It's a good idea.
I haven't been since I'm a kid.
It hasn't much. It hasn't changed much. I mean,
Okay.
to some degree, I guess it has, but
Yeah.
interesting place.
Well, are you going to be there for March 20th, or are you
Yeah.
going to be there for April?
I'll
for
be
the
there
conference?
March 19th. I'm going to be going every other week, so now I just need to start choosing my dates wisely. I'm going to look at the calendar of things going on.
Yay.
It doesn't have to be certain days. I just have to be there to do certain things, and so I can kind of choose my travel. But
Well, that'll be good. That'll give you
But
flexibility.
I will come.
April 19th.
Yeah.
oh,
Please
okay,
do.
April 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to it. Thank you for the invite,
Yay.
and thank you for coming again.
Thank you.
All
Thank
the
you
best
for
to you,
having us.
Danielle Hart, Adrian Van Kirk,
Thanks.
That was very official. Troy, bye. Hold on, we can do that.
and maybe next time we'll work on our voiceovers, or you can come and practice.
There we
Okay.
go. All right.
Let me know.
And then we can post those. We'll post them on the. We'll do it just like we're auditioning.
Take 1, take 2.
Danielle or Danielle Van Kirk. That's we'll put together.
We're married.
All the best.
Thanks.
All right,
See you
thanks. Bye.